Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, and Barry the Boater rounding out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information. Skeleton crew right now, but we are going to be joined by Captain Rusty here in just a few minutes to discuss some of the fallout from the new regulations the Bahamas have put into effect for boaters starting July 1st. It's been loud online, and we're going to get into that with Rusty here in just a bit. Yeah. Yeah, you don't agree or what, Barry?
Well, no. It's not really new regulations. It's just they're
what do you mean
kicking the prices up.
It's new regulations.
Well,
Absolutely, it's new regs.
They're hitting you with more money.
Exactly. They're now charging anchoring fees, and let me just it ain't much of a tease, but let's just say boaters are not real happy right now about it.
Money talks. If you don't want to go, don't go. Everyone has choices in life, right?
Okay. Well, that's probably not what the Bahamas want to hear. I mean, they still want people to go to the Bahamas.
They'll make that choice if they start.
They have.
Seeing tourism.
And let's see what the fall. No. Okay, let's just save this for Rusty.
Fallout. Right.
Let's save this for Rusty. Let's not jump the gun.
Save it for Rusty. Okay.
Yeah, but because I want to talk about something else. I've been watching.
No, not
TV.
Another TV show.
Of course, yes. I found another show on Netflix called Amy Bradley is Missing. And, this is the second show in like a month or two where it seems to be there. I mean, indirectly or directly targeting the cruise ship industry. And, it's an interesting mini-series season or mini, 3-episode series. And it's kind of a true crime kind of thing. You can watch it. It's basically she became, she went on a cruise like in '98 and disappeared. And her family's been looking for her ever since. It's quite intriguing. I recommend it. But during watching it, there were definitely some shots at the cruise ship industry saying like, they should be liable for this and da-da-da-da. And people don't understand that when you go on a cruise or go on a boat that you're under, the control of the captain is the big kahuna, the big cheese. I'm like, well, who doesn't know this? Well, I mean, of course, we're the world of boating. We understand when you're in international waters, boating is the captain is in charge, even when you're not in international waters. But when you're in international waters, definitely it's the captain who is in charge of everything. And they were kind of, I don't know, it's probably a lawyer person that was upset that they couldn't sue everybody and then some. I mean, and they did try to sue the cruise ship industry or cruise ship, company.
Over
that,
what?
Well, just for the fact that she became missing and it got thrown out. But maybe that's what she was complaining about. I don't know. But it just kind of brought up that whole topic. First off, why does Netflix have it out for cruising? I mean, first we get the poop cruise. They did that big series on that.
Wait a minute. Wait. And,
why
does
now this?
Why does that? I forget which channel it is now. Discovery do Shark Week every year.
Ratings.
Of course. So what do you think Netflix is doing?
Well, maybe, but I don't know. It just seems kind of odd. I mean,
I think you have a soft spot for the cruise industry.
Well, I just when I start to see a trend like, hey, they seem to be going after this industry.
Stories,
2 big series.
Well, then they must be selling.
Well, if, it's true crime stuff, of course, but it just seems.
Well, I don't know. I was reading about
I just don't like
her and her brother. They go out dancing at a nightclub on the ship.
Right.
The brother enters his cabin at 3:35. I guess they have either video or something like that.
Uh-huh.
The sister soon follows 5 minutes later. The father wakes up at 6 a.m. to check on his daughter, only to find her missing from the balcony she had slept on earlier. So she went out on the balcony and slept there.
Yeah.
So Do you think the captain scaled down the ship with a
Well,
rope?
no, it
and
has nothing to
grabbed
do
her?
with the captain being involved. It's just they were
Okay.
pointing the blame at the cruise ship
But why would
company.
yeah, but why? Why would they be blamed if someone got drunk, they slept on the balcony, and then they tripped over something, or they fell overboard,
Or they jumped.
How-
I mean,
or
there's
they
a
jumped
bunch of different
at
scenarios they
yeah,
work through.
in the middle of the night? Who would
Yeah.
be responsible?
Well, I mean, obviously they would like the cruise line to be responsible, and that lawsuit got
that.
thrown out.
Yeah, it sounded like it
And,
was more for money.
But well, exactly. You know, that
Yeah.
was the part I didn't like, and I didn't like the fact that there was a lady on there talking about how a lot of people don't realize that when you go out on a cruise ship, it's the captain that is in charge, and he's in charge of everything, and people don't know that. I'm like, what planet are you living on? I mean, what do you mean they don't know that? I mean, I've been
Well,
in
what-
that scenario when I've been on just a regular liveaboard vessel for a week, and something
Okay.
happened on the boat that, kind of gets into legal issues of criminality, whether it's stealing or anything like that. And guess what? The captain is the person who makes the call on everything. He's the
Yeah.
judge, jury, and executioner when you're out when you're in
If
international
you do
waters.
something wrong, he'll put you in the brig.
You could
And
do
then
whatever
he'll
you
turn
want
you
to.
over to the authorities. No,
Exactly.
he's not going to execute you on a
Well, it
cruise
depends
ship.
on the captain. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Captain Greg, maybe, just for fun.
yeah,
He'll haul you.
possibly.
Yeah,
but
it's
that,
a
I
big
mean,
ship.
Well, that is true. That is true. But I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, when it's actually happened to me more than once where I had to defer to the captain, and people kind of came to me and like, well, hey, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm going to follow the captain's lead. Whatever he says is what we're going to do. It's not
Legal
up to me.
services provided by Greg.
Yeah, but that's how it is. That's the
Yeah.
rule of the water. Well,
Wait.
right? Isn't it?
Okay, so you cruise a lot.
I do.
On your ticket, there's all these terms and conditions that
you never
agree
read.
to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your problem. You don't read it. But
Well, I'm
it's
just
there.
saying it's a
Yeah.
contract of carriage. When you buy a cruise ship ticket, it's usually there's fine print in there. And if you agree to buy a ticket on a cruise line, yeah, you defer to this and blah, blah, blah. It's all slanted
Yeah,
towards
blah,
their
blah, blah.
benefit.
Of course.
Yeah.
But do you have to accept it?
If you want to go cruise with them, you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you make the choice that nothing's going to happen, and
Yeah.
I'm going to agree to whatever it says on the sheet. Same
Right.
as when I go to the doctor's offices, I see all this paperwork I got to fill out. Either I
Mhm.
agree to it or I go somewhere else, and they pretty much have a monopoly.
They do have a monopoly. There's no question about it. And, whatever they decide to do is, I mean, they call the shots, and that's how it works. And then on cue, Barry the Boater froze. So I think we lost him there. He may have to reconnect. We will see in just a sec. So it's just me now. Why are you talking about a skeleton crew? What happened, Barry? Log in, log out again, I guess. But basically, what was happening is probably, since we're in international waters of radio right now, they were listening and they didn't like the vibe they were getting from Barry the Boater, so they froze him. See, they're in charge. They're watching. They're always watching us, and you got to just be aware of that. And I don't think it's nefarious. I mean, like I said, I think it's pretty much common sense to know that if you go on a cruise line and something happens, I mean, the cruise people, they're going to have security on board and all that, but it ultimately stops with the captain, and whatever he says goes, and how he directs, these issues accordingly. So you just have to kind of roll with it and decide if you're willing to take, whatever risk is associated with that. They tried to sue the cruise line, according to this mini-series, but it got thrown out, probably just for that same reason, that, that contract of carriage that you sign. Basically, when you just buy your ticket on a cruise line, you're signing your rights away probably to sue, or you have to defer to them and stuff like that. And then you got all the other customers, too, they got to take care of, right? So there you go. All right, we're going to get back on track and talk about the Bahamas changes next. Stay close to the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traditional boat hooks are bulky, take up too much space, and sink. Switch to the Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 boating tool, a marine tough compact system replacing your boat hook, stiff brush, and soft brush. The Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 tool extends to 6 feet, then rolls up to just over 4 inches and floats. Upgrade to the Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 tool for more utility, less gear, and zero compromises. Get 10% off with coupon code WORLD10 at smartboattool.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Hi, guys. Y'all look great. It's so good to see y'all.
Likewise.
Welcome to Hilton Head Island. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so amazing. And so I figured what better way to see the island than on a boat.
This is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater, he lost his connection with us. And I think it was because he wanted to catch up on The Bachelorette or something. And it's Bachelor in Paradise that just took off for the new season in Costa Rica. So I think he got distracted. He saw something on the big boob tube again, and he's a little distracted. So we may or may not get him back. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I got Captain Rusty to help us out. Rusty, how you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm doing amazing, Greg. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You had to call me in for backup.
No, I mean, this is a major upgrade. You're the only captain on the crew right now. I'm just a first mate. So thanks for joining the party. And but look,
absolutely.
You know, we wanted to talk a little bit about the Bahamas this week again. We brought this up a couple weeks ago. 1st of July, they changed a bunch of fees and created some new ones. And you know, even right before this went live, July 1st, it was creating quite an uproar in the boating industry. Now it's filtered down to, you know, the boaters themselves, and the internet has just caught fire on this topic. If you look at any boating forums and things like that, what have you seen? What do you think?
So it does. One of my followers, just a Facebook group called The Crossing, you know, it's Florida to the Bahamas. And what a lot of people are calling for is a boycott of the Bahamas, which is, or mostly Bimini, not all the Bahamas, but Bimini's the main problem that I see.
Yeah.
And from what they're really saying, and it, besides the fees, so let's take the fees out. And I'm sure you guys talked about them, how much they went up. And,
yeah.
You know, you have cruising permits and fishing permits, all the stuff you didn't have before. But they're just talking about how it's completely gone downhill. Bimini itself, The cruise ships that are going back and forth over there more regular. The beaches are full. Gentleman said he paid $96 for a case of beer. You can't find food half the time. If you can, the service is really bad and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
The rooms have gone down. I think the Hyatt, which was associated at one point with Resort World, is pulling out.
Right.
And so, yeah, so it's just, a lot of people are saying it's gone down. So there's two really big opinions or groups of people here. Some are going, if you don't like it, don't go. They're going to keep going.
Barry.
You have the others that say, yeah,
that's what he said.
Well,
yeah.
and to Barry's point, there's this group that blames Miami for it going downhill. They're going, Miami just does what they do to everything else. They keep going over there and they just destroy it. That's one group. So not to say that that's true. It's kind of like what people do to Daytona during spring break or Panama City. I think it's just got overrun with people and it's lost some of the magic. And the people that live there, are probably getting tired of,
well,
the overkill.
I mean, maybe, I was just over in Bimini, not even 3 months ago. And you were just over there too, weren't you? Didn't you go over to Bimini?
No, I went to Nassau.
Okay, you went to Nassau, but I was over in Bimini, and it is true that when the cruise ships are in port in Bimini, the island is overrun, with golf carts and tourists and stuff, but it's still manageable. It's not insane. It's a little crowded on the street sometimes with all the golf carts, but it still has that island vibe to it. And, a lot of commerce is taking place. I mean, it didn't ruin it for me, I guess is what I'm saying. I've been going back and forth between, the Florida and Bimini for 20, 30 years now. Barry is back with us. What say you, Barry? What do you think?
First of all, I think, Rusty, you may be correct about some of the Miami people. We have some islands down here in Biscayne Bay that were so filled with garbage every weekend as people would go over on their boats and spend the day on these islands out here and then not take their trash back with them, that the city actually closed the islands to the boats. Anyone that was caught there would be arrested, their boat would be impounded, and all of a sudden the islands were clean again. So, yeah, that is a possibility. I know people that go over to Bimini, when the weather's right and, they go out and fishing in their waters and all that stuff. Maybe they're supposed to pay fees. I don't know. But,
they were not being charged an anchoring fee until July 1st, from what I understand. The new anchoring fee is like $200 a vessel, I think.
That's correct.
And it used to be you could anchor, off if you didn't want to get a slip at the marina, which they charge whatever they charge. It can get pretty pricey. You would drop anchor someplace offshore in a safe harbor, and if you could find one, and you'd be good to go. Now they're charging those folks too, so they don't want any. They're hitting those folks up, and then there's extra fishing license fees. Like
fishing
you get
fees, yes.
Now it's like every 30 days you got to pay a fishing fee. It's all over the place. I agree somewhat with Barry in the sense that, more people, you got to figure out how to manage this, pay for the infrastructure, whether it's people to police, people to make sure they're picking up after themselves and doing, the proper, protecting the marine life and everything accordingly. However, on the other side of the coin, they've put through so many different new fees and upcharge this, and went up dramatically, by the way. It wasn't like they bumped the fees up like 5-10%. It's like double or a third higher or something, right, Rusty? What do you think?
So just give you an idea. Just a cruising permit was, if you're under 35 feet, this was before, it was $300.
Yeah.
And then over 35 feet, it was $400, right?
Right.
And so now it went to $500 for under 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then $1,000 if it's 50 foot, and $3,000 for 100 foot, which I feel like if you got a 100-foot boat, you shouldn't whine about it. Then your permit duration. I thought this was interesting. Is before it was 90 days, right? It was good for 90 days. It's good for 12 months now, but it's only for 2 entries per month.
Yeah.
So if you went now and then the end of the month, then you got to wait again before you can go. You just can't go back and forth as much as you want to.
It's a
Fishing
lot of
permit?
detail. That's that's my biggest
Oh, yeah,
gripe
yeah.
about it is like if they would have made it maybe not as dramatic as an increase and also just cleaned it up across the board, like, make it more simple. I mean, literally there's a whole page of
yeah.
stuff you got to read to know what even the fees are supposed to be. It's kind of ridiculous.
It doesn't seem that
absolutely.
difficult. I've looked at it.
What do you mean it's
But-
not difficult? It is difficult. If you look at just the fishing regulation alone, if you're first, now you got to pay an anchoring fee, then you got to pay your boating fee, then you got to pay your fishing fee. These are 3 separate fees, and they didn't even have it set up properly on the website where they could process the payments on July 1st, which created a nightmare for people wanting to go. And that's what you see online is a lot of folks, a lot of boaters just throwing their hands up in the air. It's like, I don't get it. I don't even know what to do. And guess what? I'm not going. And they're protesting and mouthing off online. Now, the other side, we're going to talk about that as well next on The World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
The word ship is hidden inside the word leadership as its derivation. So, if this office is in fact a ship, as its leader, I am the captain. But we're all in the same boat.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, please, can you see my fire? Message in a bottle, starboard side.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater. Captain Rusty is helping us out today as well as we navigate the latest boating news and information and navigate the latest online fallout from the boating fee changes in the Bahamas. And, okay, so, obviously we talked about this a couple weeks ago quite a bit. And, my big thing was I didn't think this was going to go over very well. It's probably gone over worse than I even thought it would because the one thing that happened right after the first, the immediate problem they had was collecting all these new fees and changes that they made in the Bahamas for boaters. Their website systems really weren't set up to properly process these payments. And next thing you know, boaters were having to pay this website this and pay the customs people this fee. And it was going to different groups and different payouts and creating all kinds of problems, paperwork wise, because even the people that were supposedly collecting the fees didn't even know how to tell the boaters, where to pay this fee or that fee. Did you get any of that yourself, Rusty, from what you saw? Did you hear about that too?
Especially in the beginning. And some people had paid fees ahead of time.
Right.
And then they were charged the full thing when they got there. So,
yeah.
And then the anchoring fees, one of them I heard saw people mentioning that, they couldn't even pay the anchoring fee when they got there. I
Yeah.
think what really caught people off guard, they just weren't prepared. They showed up
Correct.
with a regular thing, and all of a sudden they're charged $1,000.
Yeah.
So maybe their publicity side on it wasn't that great, but it's, and both, if you're going to play devil's advocate, I get it. And people are saying there's a lot of great places in Florida to go and those sort of things. But if you've ever crossed and gone to Bimini, the water doesn't get any better, right? And boats aren't cheap. So I don't know. I spend a lot of money just on gas.
Right.
So sometimes I go, yeah, I think that people are saying it's going to keep a lot of just the people who want to run back and forth out and maybe make the experience better for the people who do go. We'll see if that happens.
Well, we will see. I mean, if you look at the comments I've read online, though, it doesn't matter if they're day trippers or serious cruisers. I mean, one of the comments you read online quite a bit are from people that say, "Oh, who's complaining?" Read online quite a bit are from people that say, "Oh, who's complaining about the new boat fees?" That's not going to keep a cruise ship or, a big time yacht from coming up testing on principle, because they don't like how this was implemented. And I think there's a serious problem like that. I mean, and it's like comment after comment. Now, on the other side of the coin, Barry, you alluded to the fact that, we had these islands in Biscayne Bay and they were trashing the island, so they shut them down. And you could take this argument that, okay, yeah, the boaters may have the money, they can afford it, and they're affecting the environment and all this kind of stuff. But that isn't where these fees really came from. This was when they presented these, from what I read, Barry, and maybe you have something differently. It wasn't about that. It was about how to pay for the custom agents and more, infrastructure. And it kind of looks more like they were just looking for another revenue stream, and they figured, hell, the boaters got a crap load of money. We can milk them for what they're worth, and they won't complain. Because they did this to the pilots too, by the way,
Yeah, but money talks. I mean, if they raise the fees to a point where they start to see revenue drop because you have less people going, then they'll have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's with anything. When the car industry, you remember a couple of years ago when they were jacking up the price of cars above sticker because there were so few coming in, that, people have good memories. And now the car industry's hurting. They're full of cars and people aren't buying.
Oh, well, I agree with that. And supply and demand is what you're talking there. But in this case, it looks more like a money grab as opposed to anything that's being used.
Raise their fees?
Yes,
I don't know.
course. What are you kidding me?
Well, if it backfires on them, then it wasn't a good money grab,
Well,
right?
that's my point. Is it backfiring? It looks like it might be backfiring on them right now.
The cruise ships, okay, you've
cruise
been
ships
going
are
to
a
Bimini
separate thing.
for how long? How long have you said you've been going to Bimini? At least
30 years.
20 years. 30 years, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've only been there once, but let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Were the cruise ships always going to Bimini for the last 30 years? No. When was the last? I mean, when did it become a popular place to stop? How many years ago?
Well, I think they may have had it. They may have stopped there years ago, but they put in a terminal, about 5 years ago, Rusty, is what I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I went before the terminal was there. So,
Yeah.
and
I mean, what's your
mine was-
point though, Barry? I'm not sure.
The
where
point
you're
is,
going.
maybe they're finding that it's easier for them to deal with tourists when they're coming in one big ship and catering to them that way versus having people come from all over. I would say mostly East Florida, coming into Bimini and spending the day there or a couple of days there.
I don't
In other words,
know.
it's an easier revenue stream. So maybe what they're trying to do is cut down on all these little people going out that just decide they,
Well,
hey, it's
I
too
will tell
expensive,
you,
we're not going to go.
as far as a trend all throughout the Caribbean, not just the Bahamas, when it comes to the cruise ship stuff, most of the islands kind of say, when you talk to the operators, the one thing they don't like about the cruise ships is, yes, they bring in a lot of people and people get a little taste of the island, but they don't spend as much money as people that stay on the island or visit the island themselves. Yeah, so you can look at it so the financial benefit of having a cruise ship come into an island like that a lot of them get upset that it's not worth the aggravation. Now, of course, they bring in a huge infrastructure and they got to build up their cruise ship terminal. But the cruise lines do a pretty good job at gaming the system to their benefit, I think. But do the islands benefit from the cruise ship stopping at their island? Sure, they do to a certain extent. But they don't benefit on the number of dollars that are spent compared to a boater that comes over and stays overnight or books a hotel. It's not even close, Barry, compared to a cruise ship passenger.
Then it would be those people that take those, what do they call it? The shuttle that goes back and forth, the go-fast boats. The one that comes out of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. I'm not sure where you're going with this overall, though. What does that really have to do with if you want to take your boat over there or not?
Well, again,
they're not targeting those folks. They're targeting people that want to take their boats over.
Right. And
yachts.
Maybe they feel maybe they feel that the smaller boats are cluttering up too much stuff, or they're just, who says that?
Or maybe they feel that they're an easy target and they got a lot of money and they won't gripe if we raise their fees.
Well, obviously they are. I wouldn't think like that. I wouldn't say.
I can tell
they're not going to care. Of course they're going to care.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of addressing.
The only way you're going to find out is to look at the numbers, and you don't have the numbers, and neither do I.
Well, it's too early to know for sure.
Yeah,
from what people are saying online. But I mean, Rusty runs a boat dealership, and he might have his ear to the topic a little bit closer than the rest of us, so we're going to have to get in with him a little bit. But overall, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. As I said when they first announced this, they got probably until October to get this resolved one way or another if they're going to make any changes, because we got the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, and I think they're going to get an earful if they don't make some adjustments by then. More coming up.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Welcome aboard. I will be your captain. You'll be my scallywags. I don't know what that means, but you will be them. And here's how we pray.
Thank you for your attention and welcome aboard.
Let's go.
This is the World of Boating. Greg First Mate, Barry the Boater, Captain Rusty rounding out the crew today. All right, so these fees in the Bahamas is hitting a crescendo online especially. Let me just give you an example of one of the things that I read on a post on Facebook. This guy writes, I had no idea this many people got into boating to save money. And that's all it took, and created one of the biggest threads on Facebook. Yeah. And of people going, oh, wait, whoa. Look. And then it goes, that's where those, the replies were more like, look, I just spent, $70,000 on my last trip to the Bahamas in my yacht. And of course I can afford the fees. That's not the point. This is principle, how they did it. It's confusing. It's frustrating. And they think we're an easy target, and I'm not going. That's kind of
okay. So that's it. So don't go.
Well, yeah. And the other side of the coin is you see some other comments from people like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's no big deal. It's just money."
Well, I mean, if you have it, use it.
Well, yeah, but that sounds like that's coming from somebody who doesn't have it. Is my point. I would say.
I don't know.
That. What? Would you be okay just paying more money for the heck of it, Barry?
If the services are as good or better than what they were before, fine.
There's nothing about that, though. That's the thing.
I know. Well, if they're not getting a good deal for the money they're paying, then again, people won't go.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So let me put it in perspective. I got some numbers for you.
All right, let's go.
So as of July the 14th, right? The Big Game Club, they were down. It says 50% over what they were last July 4th weekend, right? Oof. So it had gone down 50%. And then you have your charter bookings, which they say are down about 40% over the years.
Yep.
Range of traffic's down 20 to 25%. And yet the rates went up about 30% of what they're charging, right? They're tripling what the Bahamas are trying to make off of the individual boater over
Right.
the time that they're there.
Yep.
Now, I think you said something that's really true. If boaters will probably pay that if the experience matches the value. But if it stays where it's overcrowded, service is not great, rooms are not great, you're not getting the stuff, then yeah, I think they're going to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
If they're able to do it and pull this off with the extra revenue, which I've been to Bahamas enough, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't think that extra revenue is going to go to the infrastructure to fix anything.
And you know, I said that when this first went into effect too. My concern was these extra fees are generating, and so it's going to be used to pay for custom agents and more patrol and this and that, and I'm like, no, this is a money grab. Government just looks at a potential revenue stream, and maybe some of it will, benefit. I mean, they did, like I said, they did this to the pilots a while ago too, and they're claiming that it's going to help fund the airport actually in Bimini and that kind of thing. And we'll see. I mean, the time will tell if that actually happens.
Like now?
Well, it's a easy airport to fly in and out of. I don't know what they got to change really, but they're redoing the whole thing. And trying to create
they are rebuilding it.
Well,
so
supposedly,
bigger aircraft.
Well, supposedly, Barry. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Let me put it that way.
Tell Dennis to fire up his little airplane and fly over there.
Yeah. Well, you can do that now. I mean, the airport is fine the way could they, repave it or something? Sure. But evidently they're redoing the whole thing. There in Bimini, they got plans.
I think they're trying to expand the whole thing, get more people in there, and probably it's going to be more.
But you just said they got too many people now, so that's why they need to raise more funds.
Okay, so you said to yourself, cruise ships don't stay overnight at these places, right?
Actually, they can, but generally no.
So, I mean, if a cruise ship were to go there in the morning and stay overnight to the next day, when the people go there, they go and they do their shopping and all that, and then they sleep on the cruise ship. So that means you don't have to build any more hotels or facilities on Bimini itself.
Well,
right?
the cruise ship terminal is part of the hotel property there. And,
yes, but what I'm saying is that
beach club area and stuff. Yeah.
Right, but you're sleeping on the ship. So you're using those facilities and all the thing, the power, the sewage and all that other stuff.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And then they could stay the next day. So they could make it an overnight thing. So maybe, because I mean, Bimini is not a big island.
Yeah.
And, how many hotels can you put on there? Plus they have to have that power plant that runs they got a little itty bitty dinky power plant, right?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess, but I'm not sure I'm following your.
I'm just trying to think is they may be trying to bring in more revenue in a different way. And
of course they are. They're trying
maybe
bring
they
in
don't
more
care.
revenue. That's the whole point.
No, but I'm looking at maybe they're again trying to cut down the little people here by pricing them out and just bring in the bigger money.
Okay, so are you good with that? You think that's good?
It may be good for them. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
What do you think, Rusty? You think that's true? I'm not so sure that's the case, but I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think the fees are a mistake because they're I get what they're trying to do, but I think they're doing it the wrong way. And from the standpoint, who was it? Richard, what's his name? Richard Tico that used to take the groups over.
Yeah.
Yep.
We would go over. I went with him several times.
Yeah, great guy.
Fort Lauderdale, the Bahamas have this great booth set up and the maps. And
by the way, for the record, let's just say, I think I speak for our entire crew. We love going to the Bahamas. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea here, but
they still have the Bahamas fling. They still do that.
Yeah, the boating flings.
Yeah, they had the boating flings, so they still want to bring people over.
Yeah.
We'll find out. I mean,
Yeah. Well, we are. I mean, Rusty just shared those numbers. That's not good, But I mean, what do you think?
So, and I mean, and that is what I think. I think, you know, they're calling for some people to actually put, they're hoping some of the marina owners and business owners are wanting them to put a pause on it for now, you know, kind of roll it back like we're used to doing around here. So yeah, we'll kind of figure it out. But I'm just more concerned, you know, like I said, not just about the money. And Greg, you were there recently, and I haven't been there since cruise ships were there. I can't imagine the infrastructure, the service workers, and just the infrastructure of Bimini being able to handle that many people.
Well, what happens with Bimini in particular, we're talking about Bimini because that's the closest island from the Bahamas to the U.S.
Yeah.
And that's where all the day trippers will go and go do a night or two. But the cruise ship terminal is on the north side of Bimini, and it's kind of its own little world. They got a beach club there that they work out with Virgin, and then the hotel's there and a casino. And so it's like its own little separate area of the island. And then not a ton of people go out of that complex on the north end of Bimini, to be honest. Now, they will rent a golf cart, and they'll cruise around the island and make it a little day tour. And that's when I was saying I've been there. And, yeah, sometimes the roads get a little busy with the golf carts and stuff. But it's not insane. It just, you know, you see golf carts cruising up down the street all the time, you know, when the cruise ship terminal is in. But it's not like they're over-flooding the economy there. In Bimini, at least from what I saw over a few days. Is it busier then? Absolutely. Does it ruin the island charm of the place? No. I mean, but probably, I'd say it's probably 80% of the people that are on the cruise line never do that. They just stay there up on the north end and by the hotel and the casino and the beach club, hang out and have a good old time and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think it's apples and oranges. I mean, we're boaters. We want to be able to go over there, enjoy the Bahamas, spend a few bucks, get a click, you know, and that kind of thing, and kick back with our boating friends. So we'll see where it goes, and that'll have to do for now. Till next time, remember, whether it is sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.